Well, here's modern Britain 2025. Tolerant, compassionate, empathetic, integrated in Birmingham, where apparently Jewish people are not welcome at Aston Villa Football Club.
Well, excellent news for the people of Birmingham and most importantly the residents here in Aston. I launched a petition to oppose the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans from coming to Birmingham and then into the Aston Villa Stadium. The surrounding ward of Aston is a ward that sits within my constituency. And I had many residents and businesses express concern of the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans from coming into our area. Clearly, we have all witnessed the scenes in Amsterdam, the violence that was displayed by the fans the night before the match. We all watched and listened to those vile chants of hatred and racism. And so there's no space for that kind of behaviour here in Birmingham. There's certainly no space for that kind of conduct in Aston. So I'm very pleased that both the West Midlands Police and Aston Villa Football Club have now written to UEFA informing them of their decision not to allow any fans from entering Birmingham and Aston.
And in case you missed it, this is the end of the video where Mr. Khan was switching the camera off. And of course, the normal way to switch a camera off on your phone is to stick your index finger up in the air when you're going to switch it off, as if it's in some type of springboard situation jumping into a swimming pool. But we all know what that means, and that sign that he's surreptitiously putting in a subtle way is Islam is number one, and certainly Jewish people are not up there with us. That's what he's saying. And in case you missed, in the middle of the speech, the our area, I thought it was important to cover that tiny part because I thought that spoke volumes about what he was actually saying here. And, you know, sometimes in speech we do miss things, but for the sake of it, I'm going to repeat it a couple of times for you here, just so everyone understands what he said.
The Maccabi Tel Aviv fans from coming into our area. The Maccabi Tel Aviv fans from coming into our area. The Maccabi Tel Aviv fans from coming into our area.
Oh, your area, is it? I thought that we were all integrated, Mr. Khan. I thought this was a multicultural society and that Islam could live side by side with all of the other communities there. But are you saying it's your area now?
Criticised very heavily, weren't you, for saying that in Birmingham there were certain streets that you walked down that didn't seem like Britain to you?
Yeah, look, absolutely. Just a week ago, when I was quoted as saying that there was an integration failure in parts of Birmingham like Handsworth and Aston, there was an outcry from parts of the media, many of our politicians, including the Prime Minister. And then this week we learn that the situation is even worse than I imagined, and that West Midlands Police are essentially saying that those bits of Birmingham are a no-go area for Jews. They cannot protect Jews who are going to see a football match at Villa Park. This is a total disgrace. This needs to be a moment where the scales fall from the eyes of those out-of-touch politicians and they actually realise there's a major failure of integration in our country. And for once, we actually have to do something about it.
Well, I mean, Keir Starmer only yesterday, was talking about giving £10 million more to Jewish communities to safeguard Jewish people in this country. And he said it's all about action, not words. Well, so far, we haven't seen any action from him. All we've seen is a tweet that he's put out last night saying that this decision by the police is the wrong decision. Surely he should be doing more than that, shouldn't he?
Well, he's not a bystander. He's the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
What is he actually going to do about it? Is he going to take the failure of multiculturalism and integration in our country seriously or not? If he is, then he should be closing down those mosques in parts of our country where there are hate preachers. He should be revoking the visas of people who are clearly anti-British and are spreading extremist views on our streets. He should be actually taking action. And what we want now from West Midlands Police is for them to reverse this ridiculous decision. It cannot be beyond the capability of West Midlands Police to keep around 1,000 fans safe at a match at Villa Park. It cannot be, and it sends the worst possible signal about our country and the failures of integration in some of our big cities, that they're saying that they can't do that job.
I'm 100% behind Robert Jenrick on this issue, and a lot of other issues that he does seem to support, particularly with regard to the justice system, because that's where he does focus a lot of his time. But in general, he's 100% correct there. You can't have areas of our country which are no-good areas for certain members of the population. This is exactly what he was talking about a couple of weeks ago, the failure of integration, the failure of multiculturalism. And why are our politicians not standing up and dealing with this? There were a lot of comments made on social media after all of this has happened outside of Mr. Jenrick. So here's Keir Starmer. This is the wrong decision. So that's our PM. Fair enough. He came out and said it. Who knows what he's going to do? Of course, he's hampered at the moment because, yet again, the Home Secretary is an activist, and her inability to act as a normal Home Secretary, because she is, in effect, an activist. And this is one of the reasons why she was a bad appointment. And I've said this time and time again. You can't appoint an activist. Simple as that. And here we've got Nigel Farage. This takes racial discrimination to a whole new level. You'd have to agree with that. Yes, Kemi Badenoch. Jewish fans banned from a football match. She's brought it up. And even the leader of the Lib Dems, Ed Davey, came out and he also condemned what was going on. So we've got Labour, the Tories, Reform, even the Lib Dems coming out. And you might think that all of the political parties would be in line with this, but not the Greens, of course, because the Greens have been captured by this Islamist strain within our society. And this is an example of what Mr. Zach Polanski was posting today. Let's not single people out. And he's reposting this Syed Siddiqui, embrace a multicultural society. And this is what British means. I mean, this is what the Greens are. They are a radical extremist party. And let's not forget, their deputy, this was him celebrating, just as a reminder, his electoral win last year.
Raise the voice of Palestine! Allahu Akbar!
And yes, we've got serious problems, ladies and gentlemen, without any doubt. And just to finish, just wanted to make this final point. How is it, and everyone's asking the same question today, how is this happening? How did we get here? What's going on? What is happening here? Well, I don't think it's too difficult to chart the way that we're going. It's been our politicians' inability to speak out. One of the reasons why the grooming gangs went on for so long as they did, because our political class is spineless. And even a week or two ago, when Mr. Jenrick came out and he made those comments about Birmingham, there was a few reactions came out. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to play you a modern day reaction from Bridget Phillipson, you know, the robot android from the Labour front bench there, who's just destroyed private school education in this country. Then we're going to go a little bit back to a Tory that was in power in the 2010s when immigration was ramping up under Cameron, Amber Rudd. Then we're going to go a little bit farther back to Edwina Currie. When you look at these three things, the present, a little bit in the past, and then further on in the past, these are the people who are responsible for where our country is today. These are the people, and it's all on them. Listen to how they were talking 1 week ago.
Staying with Mr. Jenrick, he's been recorded speaking at an event in Birmingham where he went to do some filming, and he said, and I quote, he didn't see another white face, adding, "That's not the kind of country I want to live in." How do you react to that, Bridget Phillipson?
I think that is a deeply troubling set of remarks. I mean, I haven't heard the wider excerpt of that, but the bits I have seen reported, I think Robert Jenrick has got a lot of explaining to do. Is he, for example, suggesting that somehow the colour of your skin makes you less British than someone else? Is that the implication of what he's saying? I think it would be good if Robert Jenrick could come out and explain exactly what it is he meant when he said that.
Tell us what he was like in those days, because he does seem to have gone on, shall we say, a little bit of a journey.
He's gone on a huge journey. He wasn't like that at all. I mean, it's completely unrecognisable to me. I think maybe the Home Office must have radicalised him when he was immigration minister and couldn't get what he wanted done. But I find it absolutely extraordinary. He wasn't like that at all. I can't reconcile those two people. He was a perfectly easy.
Well, he was an ultra Cameroon,
supportive
wasn't he?
Cameroon. We all campaigned for him because he got in on by-elections, you recall. Moderate person. Yeah, no, he's completely different now.
What Jenrick is saying is absolutely awful. There's a short 4-letter word for it, in my humble opinion. I was a Birmingham City Councillor, Stig, for many, many years, back before I became an MP. So I know. Well, Handsworth has changed a lot because it used to be more Black Caribbean and now it's more Pakistani. It's much more mixed in many ways than it was then. But, I'm pretty sure that Jenrick walking around there over the last few days, he's looking at an awful lot of people who are British citizens and they may not look like him. I think that the message that he may well be trying to put across, the subtext, if you like, is to the Conservative members, if you want to be led by a white middle-aged male, like all the other political parties, I'm your man. I'm free. And I think it's hateful. I really, really do. I mean, I've always called him an oily oik, and I'm sure that's absolutely true, and that's probably acceptable to say on Times Radio at this time of the day. But invoking race and colour in that way, it's not the Tory way. It's never been the Tory way. We don't out-reform. We really have to be much more thoughtful, mature, and adult. And it's just not happening as far as I can see.
I think it's very straightforward when you see the present, past and past there. Who and what has taken us down this route? And now, in 2025, we have a situation now where the police, where a football stadium, where the managers of that football stadium or the team, where our Prime Minister, where our Home Secretary stands around impotent, while an independent Gazan MP tells Jewish people to stay out of his area. And that's where we're at. And I just don't see a solution for this problem. Dark days ahead, I'm afraid. Thanks very much for your time.